Welcome everybody to another episode of Illuminate, Navigate, Radiate. I'm your host Brandon. We got Michael with us again today. How you doing, Michael?
Doing great as always. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, and I just want to throw out, it was Michael's birthday this past Sunday, so make sure you say happy birthday in the comments. Wish him well. He just turned. I think he's a young 21, right? You're staying young.
Just barely old enough to drink, baby.
So wish him a happy birthday in the comments there. But yeah, we're coming at you with another wellness challenge today. We have self-compassion. We thought this would be a really good one to kind of tie into our topic discussion on shame and guilt this past Wednesday, and just kind of go into what that self-compassion can do and challenge you to try it out a little bit more. I know there's been times in my life where I've really struggled with that concept of being a little bit nicer to myself, or thinking I deserve a little bit more, or talking to myself in a positive way. And I think when we can do that, we can add a lot of positive thoughts and emotions and feelings into our life. So what do you think about that, Michael?
Yeah, I think the self-compassion is huge because we all often do the opposite. A lot of times we're the opposite of being self-compassionate, and we're discompassionate to ourselves in the form of negative self-talk, or maybe how we view ourselves. So challenging everybody, even Brandon and myself, to really focus on being good to ourselves, because we could be as good as we want to other people and they feel it, but if we treat ourselves like crap, we won't feel great. So that's where I know that self-compassion is a huge way to process out the negative energy and kind of surround yourself with more positive energy. So I think this is a great challenge we have this week.
Yeah, and like you just said, we're often not self-compassionate to ourselves. We're more than willing to be, to have that compassion for others, or to build them up with positive, or positive talk for them, and build them up compliments, and point out the good things about them. And sometimes it's really awkward, or it's a struggle to think about those positive things about you, or to say some positive affirmations, or to do something like that. And we wanna kind of push you and challenge you to switch that around. We want you to feel okay and almost feel confident in saying some of those things. Look in the mirror and say you're worthy. Look in the mirror and say you're good enough, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're funny, you're outgoing, you're kind. Whatever it is that you embody as a person, we want you to feel confident in saying that. And I know it can be a really tough exercise. Even just thinking those things can be a really tough exercise, but then verbalizing them and saying them out loud feels awkward sometimes, don't you think?
Yeah, I know that's something that even when I was just practicing for maybe a speech and I needed to talk to myself in the mirror, I was just the first 10 minutes, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm talking to myself. This doesn't make any sense. What am I going to get out of this? But when it really comes to yourself and looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that you are a good person, you are worthy, like you said, you have the tools in place, or you have the ability or the power to do good, telling yourself that internally helps. Being able to say it kind of creates it, and then once you act on it, it does become real. And I think that's the biggest part of the challenge this week, is we want you to start with that process. Tell yourself first, even if it's an internal, you wake up, I'm tired, but hey, I'm a good person. I got a good night's sleep. I'm ready to take on the day. Cool. Say it out loud. Hey, guess what, babe? I'm ready to take this day on. Like, let's do this together. We're working out. What are we doing? Let's keep this positive energy going, and then acting on it, doing the actual action of, hey, I went out and did this, or I told myself I was going to do this and went out and did it, and then kept telling myself how good it made me feel. And maybe that's in the form of treating yourself. Maybe you go out to the spa. Maybe you have a day where you do something that you enjoy. And yeah, you spent more money than maybe you should have, but it's you. Got to take care of number one at the end of the day. Otherwise, you can't take care of the rest of the family or friends. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 100%, man. I think we gotta, we have to be the best we can for ourselves, so that way we can be the best we can for others. And we were talking about that treat yourself day before we got on, and I think that's so important, right? Like, being able to do that, being able to go and give yourself something, and maybe times are tough and you can't do a whole lot. That's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be a big extravagant thing. I mean, if you are able to go do it, make it extravagant. You're worth it. You're deserving of it. But if you're not at that place in your life, then just go out and do something simple for yourself. Do something you enjoy. Go find a place by yourself and read a book. Go take a walk in the woods, or you know I went kayaking a few years ago, and with a couple people, and that felt like treating myself, because it was hours on the water, away from everybody, no cell service, and it was just removing yourself from kind of what was going on in the world, and it was just so relaxing, and you felt so good afterwards, right? And I think that's what we want to do, is push you to do those things that give you those feelings. um, and so whether that is that activity, of treating yourself, whether it is that compassion, or those positive affirmations of doing that, figure out different ways to try that every day. Maybe 3 out of the next 7 days, maybe it is just some positive affirmations. Maybe 2 more days is doing something for you, going out by yourself, having a little time to yourself, whatever that may be. And then maybe the other days are spending time around people that you want to be around. Spend time around that crowd you want to be around, the crowd that makes you feel good about yourself, not the ones that kind of make you feel not so great in the moments. So find different ways to practice that. I know for me, I think it's really important to remind myself of some positive things that, about me every once in a while. And because I am hard on myself, I do have some negative self-talk. And so I have to be intentional when I like switch that up, and say like, hey, you are a good person, you're trying, you're working towards this, you're doing that. And I think it's important to be intentional about it, especially when I start like feeling those negative things. Be like, no, 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 like, look at what's going on. Yeah, there are some mistakes here and there, but this is what you're pushing towards, and as long as you keep pushing towards that, you're going to accomplish what you want to accomplish, and get what you want out of life. So I think that positive self-talk can be so important in this next week, in this challenge. Because again, we're really hard on ourselves, and we just want to say, give yourself a break a little bit, right?
Absolutely. Just take a load off of yourself. And I know that's not easy to do, but at the same time, like Brandon just said, be specific, have that concentrated focus on doing it. And I know sometimes when you are telling yourself that you're a good person, but you really deep down are trying to say, well, no, I know I'm not because of this. No, eliminate that. Believe that you are, because you are. You are good. You are worthy. You are capable of doing the things you want to do. And don't let the negative thoughts, the negative self talk that you're used to hearing or telling yourself rule. Squash it out. Remember that it's not the end of the world if you have a bad day, but you can take care of yourself and you can overcome it. You can be a lot better for not just yourself, but then others. And that's where that type of approach, that mentality, I think is super important. And in the form of a challenge makes it kind of a fun way to really bring that out, because a lot of people just need a little push or some type of, I guess, activity that, hey, okay, cool, this is a challenge that someone's doing. I can participate in this challenge. And then that's all it takes to help them start to shift how they view themselves, because I think that's where that difficulty lies. Is I'm saying I'm a good person, but if you don't view yourself as a good person, you're going to conflict, and that's not going to come out right. So that's where not only do you believe you're a good person, view yourself as a good person, and whatever that is, I'm good at this, or I take care of myself, I take care of my family, I provide, and then like Brandon said, find whatever it is that you do enjoy. If you can only spend a few bucks, then yeah, go just take yourself out to eat and something simple. Or if you do have the money to go do something, yeah, go on a cool trip or plan a overseas vacation for a week or something like that, and just do something you maybe always said I'm going to do that eventually. Go. There's no time like the present, especially when you're trying to treat yourself. Don't forget that you are ultimately the most important for you, even if you have to provide for other people. Don't forget yourself. So that's where I think the focus of this challenge comes in full circle to, like, let's focus on ourselves. If we don't, especially, and even if we do, let's take this time to really make sure we're doing it in a positive light, because sometimes we focus ourselves and it isn't positive, and it is that negativity that just surrounds our lives, and we just tell ourselves what we tell ourselves because it's easy. No, we challenge you to, even if it's difficult, even if that first day seems the most awkward, trying to say, hey, I'm a good person. I know that I'm going to be good today. I'm grateful for the things I have, so I'm going to take care of myself. Yeah, start there. The positive affirmations can help really jumpstart that whole process. So for me, day one's going to be that, just that first positive affirmation. I'm gonna do some research on a few of them that I really think resonate with me. I'd encourage people to do the same and drop the ones that they like down in the comments the most that first couple days, and let's try to see how many different ways that we can create positive energy, because it's not as easy to create the positive as the negative, but when people group together, a lot more can be accomplished when it comes to that positive energy.
Yeah, and find different positive affirmations, and do them in different ways. Say it in the mirror, say it in your head, say it just out loud. Walk out in the middle of a busy store or street and scream it. That I'm amazing, or whatever it is. Just to, especially if you can say it in front of people, I think it gives that positive affirmation even way more power. Is when you can say it to other people. And kind of tying into that, one other little aspect of this challenge I want to throw at people is, next time somebody gives you a compliment, really accept it and take it in. Really, somebody compliments your style, your look, a project, really say, oh yeah, I put this together. I worked really hard on that. Thank you for acknowledging it. Don't feel like they're lying to you. Don't convince yourself they're lying to you. Don't convince yourself you have to throw a compliment back right away, so you start thinking about them again and not what they just acknowledged about you. But really accept that compliment, rock that compliment, feel that compliment. I know sometimes it's hard to truly accept a compliment. I know sometimes I'm like, oh, are they just saying that? Are they lying? No, like, don't have that doubt. Say, oh yeah, they're saying this because I put some effort into it, or I've really tried at this, or I just do look really good today. So whatever that may be, that positive energy becomes so special, right? And like Michael was just saying, drop some positive affirmations down in the comments. Sometimes when we struggle, like, okay, let's go down and take a look. All right, here's a good one that I like as well. I do feel this about myself when I really think about it. Like, I do feel like I'm a caring person, or I'm a outgoing person, or I'm a hardworking person, whatever that may be, and tell yourself that stuff. Get rid of that negative self-talk and add some positivity and some self-compassion, into that vocabulary of yours.
Absolutely. I think doing that also will maybe bring even a little bit more value to how you feel about yourself and your life, because it's crazy how much different you feel when you tell yourself good things as opposed to bad things. And if you're someone like me and even Brandon, at times where you've been good at telling yourself, or it's easy to tell yourself the things that aren't positive, it becomes natural, second nature. After a few weeks, that's a habit. And then now every time you do anything, yeah, I'm just not good at this, or yeah, of course, that's just me, of course I'm gonna fall victim to that. No, it's not. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I've had a crazy bad couple weeks, but that ends here. Let this challenge be that, if that is for you. And like Brandon said as well, don't just dismiss those compliments when they come at you and think you either have to give one right back, or that it's not really what they meant. If they said it, they meant it. And until you hear otherwise, believe it. If someone's like, hey, I could see how hard you worked on this, you deserve more than what you got, enjoy that moment and take, I guess, the full effect of how that feels, because it's not every day you get a compliment. And when we do get them, if we don't really embrace what that feels like, we kind of just let it slip, and then we didn't actually get out of it what the person probably intended was to make us feel good, because they saw something we did that was either a lot of effort or high level of skill or just swag, and just like, hey man, you got it going on today, and just like, thank you, I greatly appreciate it. And if you feel like you want to throw something back out, cool, but like Brandon said, don't feel like you have to focus immediately on what they got going on because they complimented you. If they wanted that, they wouldn't have said that. They wouldn't have complimented you just to get a compliment back. So take it as what they said it, and don't assume it's not what it is until they either say otherwise. So I just, man, you look good today. You were doing great. I like what you said. Cool. I appreciate that. I'm working hard on myself. I've been trying to do what I do. So thank you for recognizing that. Have a good day. Simple as that. And then I think that when I give a compliment, I'm not asking for a compliment back right away either. And I notice that too when I tell somebody, hey, nice. Like, I like those shoes. I like the way you did your hair. Cool. And then like, I like your shirt too. I was like, yeah, you didn't have to say that. I appreciate it. But you're the one looking cool. So I'm just trying to pass that energy to you, because I could tell you spent some time or someone spent time on that for you and it made it look good. So I think that's a primary focus point, a part of this challenge, like you said, that we don't want to let slip through the cracks either. Tell ourselves how good we feel, but then when we give or get a compliment, relish in that for a little while longer than maybe we typically do.
Yeah, so we're challenging you to, have some self-compassion over this next week, to, have some positive self-talk, to build yourself up, whether that's, sitting on your bed and just thinking those thoughts, standing in front of your mirror and, flexing or doing your hair or shaving or brushing your teeth, whatever, say those words out loud, or you're going and running out in the middle of a busy place and just screaming at the top of your lungs how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how great of a person you are, whatever that may be. We're challenging you to do that. And I love this challenge. I think it can bring a lot of positive energy when we encourage people to talk good about themselves. I think it's always funny to me when we think about this conversation. The world tells us to, love yourself, embrace yourself, be yourself. And then when we start to do that, we do it a little too loud. People are like, whoa, you're cocky, you're arrogant, you're these negative words because you've embraced yourself, because you love yourself and you want to show that off. So, don't worry about that. Do it, and you will see how good that can make you feel as you start that process. So, challenge yourself everywhere. We're challenging you to do something every day, small, big, however you can work it into your schedule or your plans. Have some self-compassion and do something positive, say something positive for yourself.
Absolutely. Let's spread the love, spread the positive energy, and just let that show how much power there can be in that type of community aspect of encouraging everybody to tell themselves they're better than maybe what they've been telling themselves. And then before you know it, everybody is sharing great experiences of how their day went, or, hey, I woke up and this is how I started my day and it went great. I'm going to do this every day or as many days as I can. So that's the goal. That's the challenge. Start here. It can go as far as it can go, but let's focus every day on doing something directly with a specific focus, and share with us exactly what you're going through and what you're doing, and let us know exactly what maybe works for you and what's maybe helped you in the past that could help other people, because it doesn't really take but one or two words or a line, and that could completely affect somebody's day in a positive way. So I'm excited. This is gonna be a great challenge. I can't wait to participate myself.
Yeah, no, and as we get to the end of this segment, I just want to say we dropped 2 journey segments this week. Go check them out. We had Laura from Australia and Brandon from New York. Had 2 great stories, amazing stories. Go check them out. Then we had that great conversation with Guilt and Shame that really, on Wednesday, that really tied into this self-compassion challenge. So make sure you go and give that a listen. And then join in on the challenge. Join in on the challenge. Drop some comments about some things that you can do to show some self-compassion, some positive affirmations. But continue to join us on this journey. Me and Michael are really enjoying this. We're having fun doing it. Tough conversations. Wednesday got pretty tough with some heavy analogies and stories from our lives. But we enjoy doing this, and we want you to join the journey with us. So like, subscribe, check out our other stuff going on, throw a comment or an idea of what you want to see us do. But for now, let's focus on the self-compassion, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.